I'd like to begin by starting, I know that we talked about this at the last meeting, the October 8th meeting, but I wanted to really praise the work that was done for homecoming week. I think it was a great week. I know we talked about some of the things at the last meeting, but it was before the parade and some of the other activities in terms of the games on Saturday, which I think everything worked out extremely well. I want to give an extra thanks to our athletic director, Mr. Dode, who did a lot of the planning, as well as our high school principal, Ms. Mangonia, who organized the parade. We had, and as the community knows, it was a parade at night, so we had a tremendous amount of outpouring from the community. It was great to see the streets lined up with families and parents and uncles and grandparents. So thank you to Jeremy as well as Melissa and everyone that participated in the organization of our homecoming. It was one of the best ones that I've seen, and I've been with the district now 21 years, and I attended every single homecoming, but this is by far one of the better ones that we've had. And the pep rallies, everything was just great. So thank you to those two individuals. I wanted to also provide the community with an update. We have two capital projects that are happening at the same time. We are almost complete with our renovations of the varsity baseball field, and it was a tremendous amount of work that was done. We had new sprinkler zones installed. We had topsoil delivered. We had fertilizer as well as seed planted, and they did an amazing job. And the time frame that they completed it was phenomenal. After a couple of days, I went out to see them, and the crew worked extremely, extremely hard. So I want to, like I said, thank them for their work. Once again, thank the Foster family for their donation. Thank the Board of Education for supporting it with the additional funding that we found internally to support that. And I think the boys are going to be very happy with that in March when the season begins. We are also making plans to look at the softball field for our girls as well. We don't want to just leave one out. So we are going to plan some things over the spring to possibly reseed and to maybe power wake that area as well. Things that I think we could do internally for relatively minimal pricing. The other major capital project that we have is the high school auditorium. We are on schedule, hopefully, to end it by December 1st to have the grand opening. Everything is being done. If you look at our website, there's a section in the district tab. It says auditorium. I would invite the community to take a look at some of the new pictures that I personally just put up. For those of you who don't know, I do, myself and Mr. Nofi, as well as our communications company, ZE, we manage the internet, so I go in and I do it myself. But the stage is completely done. The rigging is done. They are prepping the flooring today. All of the wainscoting is done in the auditorium. They are working on the hi-hats this week. And by next week, the floor should be prepped, repaired, and epoxied. And then the carpet will go in, and then hopefully the chairs will be delivered November 24th with an installation that week. So we are on schedule to have it completed, hopefully by December 1st. That's my report.
Any questions? There's new photos as of October 27th on the website, so if you haven't checked recently,
Yes.
check it out.
Sorry, I just put those up this week, yes.
Any questions from any board members? Claire, any questions? Good. All right, so we're moving on to board committee reports. As you know, we have board committees that meet. There's 6 that meet. One that we just finished up was policy. We've been working through policy pretty diligently and doing the best we can to make sure that we're meeting 2025 years, not 1970s or 80s, but we're slowly making our way through based on the recommendations of what gets put forth, but then also the conversation and dialogue. So we did just finish up with our somewhat pre-read of the 3000s, so we continuously keep growing through that. Some items come to us with looking in for insight, and then we'll go back and reread and then come back again. So often you'll see policy at 5 o'clock or 5:30, depending on what's going on. You are always welcome to attend a policy meeting. That is not a closed door, that is a working session. So you're always welcome to come in if you ever have curiosity of what policy and how it gets done. It's pretty exciting, I guess, for some. All right, so we have that. So I'm going to go through the audit committee meeting met last meeting. What we do is when we go through that, we're starting to look at the last year's finances. Last board meeting, we addressed that, and we kind of talked about the view of 24, 25, and we were very happy that some items that were noted in previous years, we did a good job of making sure we put a control factor in place, and then we went over everything from there. Nothing was really noted to us, so we're going to keep that moving as we go through. A big thank you to Mr. Singer for really stepping in and taking on a role that is not the easiest to do as you're coming in between shifts and changes of people. He was complimented on his ability to get us the paperwork, or get the paperwork to Judith, right, Judith? I remember, who is it? Jill. Sorry, so many names in that. To Jill, and then allowing her to do her job diligently, which is basically the auditor. So that is something that is very peaceful for us to have, because one of the things we have to worry about is fiscal responsibility. The Community Connections meeting last month, we focused on homecoming. I don't know if, John, you want to jump in at all, or?
Yeah, we focused on the homecoming, which was a lot of what we talked about. We also talked about, getting more people involved, getting businesses involved, just having a lot of involvement in the district. But yeah, the homecoming was our big focus last meeting.
I just want to say, too, it was a joint meeting with the Booster Club, and we did that intentionally because one of the things that we realized that with any organization that's a community-based, volunteer-based organization, there's a lot that they have to do in terms of preparation for concession stands, all of the management. So we wanted to ensure that we were providing as much support as we could from a district, and we were hearing their concerns and trying to address them in a real-time fashion. So we met on the 7th in light of the fact that the parade was coming a couple of days later, and we had all the games scheduled for the weekend. So it was a great combined meeting, and we do try to do that from time to time. We've met in the past with the PTO. We've invited all different community-based organizations to come in, and sometimes we'll just go to their site as well, if that's the case. Because the purpose of Community Connections is to bring those partnerships together in a real-time fashion, so that we're not necessarily dictating the conversation or the narrative. Sometimes we're just taking the lead and finding out what pieces we can fill in and how we can be of support to them. So I'm sorry, I just wanted to mention the Booster Club.
Yeah, no, it was great actually going to their meeting and finding out stuff that they needed and hearing stuff, because it's nice to hear from other people's point of view.
It's funny, I feel like I'm playing like a battleship game with you guys here. At the end of the day, they said that goal is to really just tighten everything up. Anybody is welcome at any committee meeting. You do not, you just walk in, right? Look it up, walk in. Our goal is to increase, with Clara's help, we're gonna increase the amount of student body population that comes into that, so that we can really get the students' lens, because adults sitting in a room sometimes miss the point, even though we get the point, but we have to also feel comfortable in making sure that we're making decisions that they're a part of, especially the upperclassmen that have earned that right because they've lived it. So, we're going to go on to the next one, which is curriculum and technology. We had a meeting yesterday. Dawn, do you want to say a little bit?
So we had the curriculum technology meeting yesterday. It was very busy, and we had a full house. Thank you to several students who showed up, and I agree with Brian. It's really important to have many stakeholders present, from administrators, teachers, students, and parents. So I'd love to see that at all of the committee meetings, so that we're making good decisions and listening to everybody's feedback. We talked a little bit about some of the professional development that has been happening. So Dr. Botcher talks about the magnetic reading professional development that happened in Clayton Huey. The middle school iReady department the departmental meetings that were going on. We were really excited to hear about the individual and department goals that were being set. And I think this year we've done a lot of progress of aligning our committee meetings to SMART goals related to overall board goals. And it seems like we're really meeting them already. So I'm really excited to hear that. And then we also heard about the Santa Maria High School department meetings and professional development. We talked about the new parent report card, the latest there, and how that's going to be tied to eSchool and communicated to parents with an FAQ. And let's see what else. We looked a little bit at some kind of like backwards design of like what are some of our goals and how can we get there from K through 12 as a continuum. So I think that was really exciting to see, and everyone kind of talking as a entire district. Looked at some gap analysis and how to really zero in on where we can improve data in terms of assessments and where we want to be. We talked a little bit about the overall software audit that's been going on the last couple of years to save money, to look at what is the software that's being used, teacher feedback, what can be eliminated based on redundancy and so forth. And we last but not least talked about AI in professional development. That was a SMART goal that was really important to us. Usage, teacher feedback, policy. It sounds like there was some professional development related to the board policy with AI. What are the plans moving forward? I recently shared a bunch of resources on AI because I do AI teacher training myself. So I'm really excited to hear what's going to be put into effect for teacher training and school district wide. So I think that sums it up. Is there anything I missed?
Talked about your anything?
Okay, great.
Any questions for curriculum or committee to anybody? Because I know she threw a lot out there. I think one of the coolest parts to yesterday,
Student Square. That was the last thing on the student communication, which is included with Parent Square, so no
Yes.
additional funds. That was really exciting to hear, so that students and coaches could have communication without having to spend any extra money. So,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Good. Thank you. So our goal with Parent Square last year was to roll it out, get people comfortable with it, increase it now. Dr. Botcher is working with administration to get then the Student Square part in. It's just another way for us to be able to have one platform instead of thousands of platforms for kids and parents to be able to communicate through. I think often that sometimes can become overwhelming because you forget all the apps that you have to log into and the passcodes, unless your iPhone saves it, right? So our goal is to really clean it up, but then also over time understand that there's a lot of good work that can be happening in that one kind of platform. The other cool thing when we were looking there was everything tied together, right? We didn't start and then have like a bump. Everything was tying together from the iReady that the kids got to hear that they were here. Those were high school kids, right? The iReady that they did not get to go through in a sense because they're older now, but seeing like, oh wait, that's how you're gonna close the achievement gap. So when you hear Dawn talk about the SMART goals, a lot of it is tying into what can we do to close our achievement gaps, how can we help those struggling readers, struggling learners. Obviously we do the top end work as best as we can, but often we're trying to really keep those people that are struggling, get them identified early. So that was kind of an aha light bulb when we were sitting in there, and it was all of a sudden it was like, wow, 1, 2, 3, wow. We actually almost just made a full circle of how we're doing this. And I think that sometimes can be exciting from an educational standpoint because that means we're moving in some type of direction, and even the kids that were sitting there were going, oh, that's what that means. So that's where it makes it like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. And the PD work that is going on hopefully is something that the teachers are appreciating as well. And we'll obviously take feedback from Dr. Botcher to the committee and then keep growing from there.
There's just one thing I want to mention about Student Square. We are going to be sending messaging out to our students as well as our parents to inform them that we're going to be utilizing it. We hope to have it in place by mid-November, just to give that time frame so that the comfort level can increase with the students and the teachers as well as just the system as a whole. So I just want to know, I just wanted everyone to know it's not something we're doing tomorrow. It should be done within the next 2 weeks or so. Okay? Thank you.
So we're going to go over to Facilities, Health, and Safety. Their last meeting was on the 5th. That was, right, John and Thomasina? Okay. The good thing is that this week, Shauna and Thomasina both took a walk of the elementary school. So I'm kind of putting them on the spot a little bit for fun. But at the end of the day, it is something that did happen. So we do often try to, I mean, I feel like we're always on the grounds. So if someone says we're not on the grounds, just come and find us on the grounds. And in a good way, we're trying to help move things in the direction so that people can get to us as best as they can. When Shauna and Thomasina took a trip of the elementary school, I'll allow them a little bit to say, you know, kind of a little bit about the buildings, I guess you can say.
Right. I mean, it's an old building, so we definitely identified some things that we would like to see improved. But overall, you know, there has been work done that we thought was an improvement. So it's like a home, you know, you always have your to-do list and you just try to keep checking things off. So, but if anybody, you know, has anything to bring to our attention, you know, we definitely are trying to keep our kids safe and happy and our teachers happy, so let us know.
Thank you. And I did probably could have put them on the spot only because they did the walkthrough. It was kind of perfect timing. We didn't have anything there, so kind of filled the void there. But at the end of the day, it is nice to know that we are making rounds, right? The Health and Wellness Committee is meeting on the 3rd, so there's probably nothing to report there at this point. I already discussed policy, and we are up to questions and comments regarding tonight's agenda only. There is guidelines for public comment. This is an opportunity for persons who wish to speak or who have written letters to the board regarding topics that are included on this agenda. Speakers are asked to sign in with the district clerk. There's a book in the back room prior to approaching the board. Indicate your topic of comment. Keep your comments brief and speak for no longer than 3 minutes. Refrain from discussing matters involving specific district personnel or individual students. Please stand and speak into the microphone so that everyone here and those joining us on live stream can hear you clearly. Members of the public will have the opportunity to speak about any topic not on the agenda at the end of the meeting. Anybody? I like putting the checks here. All right, we're up to consent agenda approval. Be it resolved, a motion to approve the consent agenda item 9A through 14U. Consent agenda items are approved via single vote unless they are removed from being a consent agenda item prior to the vote. Do we have any questions before we put it up to vote on any items at all? So I don't move past that question for everybody. All right, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items? Motion from John, do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Shauna. And all in favor?
Yes.
Yes. No votes, right?
Can I just say one thing, Brian? So we have our new business official, Assistant Superintendent for Business, Fernando Osorio, with us this evening. So welcome, Fernando. Fernando's start date is going to be pushed up to Monday of next week. So welcome, and thank you for being able to make yourself available. But I really want to take a moment to really thank Mr. Singer. He's been a true gentleman. He came to us at a time that was somewhat stressful, where we had a difficult time finding a business official. I think for those of you in the field realize that it is a very high demand position, and we put postings out after posting. It was very difficult to find someone. Through various connections, I connected with Mr. Singer, and he's been a true professional throughout this entire process. He came to us with a wealth of information. He's retired. And so every situation that I threw at him, he had a various solution almost immediately. He's been a great person to work with. We're going to miss you, Bruce, and thank you for coming in such a trying time and getting us through the auditing process over the summer. Looking at my numbers in terms of some of the figurations I had to look at regarding the budget, and thank you for everything you've done. And now I think you have the opportunity to actually enjoy your retirement.
I just want to thank you, Ricardo, and, thank you, Brian. It's been more than a pleasure. The people here are wonderful, the school district is wonderful, and we accomplished a lot in the last few months. The beginning of the auditorium project, the state aid filings, closing the last year, working with all the auditors, the state controller's report. We accomplished a lot, and my goal for the next 6 months is to support Fernando to make sure he's successful in his endeavors at Center Moriches. It's been a pleasure to work with you. You know, doing this over 47 years, you really are a true professional. As a superintendent, I've known many. The office staff is very comfortable coming to you, making suggestions on how to improve, which you don't find in many school districts. And this is rare, and it starts at the top, to the Board of Education, to the superintendent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thanks.
We're good. It's really not easy when you have to find your place through this thing and make sure you're on the right thing. Just putting it out there. But she did give me my Post-it, so it helps to get me through the consent agenda items. All right, general public comment. So I'm going to give you the spiel again. Members of the public who desire to address or question the board on any topic related to the board work are welcome to do so at this time. Speakers are asked to sign in with the district clerk. Book is in the back. Indicate your topic. Keep comments brief and speak for no longer than 3 minutes. Refrain from discussing matters involving specific district personnel or individual students. Please stand or speak up. Speak into the microphone so that everyone here and those joining us on the live stream can hear you clearly. Sure. Thank you.
How are you? Christina Muratori. In my face, but that's okay. Yeah, no, it's fine. So I just had a question about a Board of Ed SMART goal. SMART goal 1D was to explore opportunities to develop a work-based learning plan. So my question is, it looks like it's to be implemented in next school year. I'm on the curriculum committee. It also says that it has a planning team. So I have extreme concerns with the work-based learning, just kind of like, it seems kind of quick moving, especially with the portrait of a graduate. We don't really know the verbiage to say what's going to be allowed and not allowed. So are we still thinking that it's going to be implemented next year? And I understand we want to have opportunities for all, but I do have some concern as a community member. The financial implications of it, how many students we're going to be addressing through work-based learning. Our BOCES program is going wonderfully. How many kids do we not have graduating? So all like the data to support why we're pushing it to happen next year.
So thank you for the question, Ms. Muratori. If you look at the SMART goals, one of the things that when we created it with the Board of Education was that we are looking at the planning stage. So all the things that you mentioned will be part of that discussion, meaning how many kids is it going to affect? How will we operate it? What would be the operating budget? Mm-hmm. And is it feasible? So I think that initially, and Dr. Batra and I had this conversation on numerous occasions, it might start very small. But as you know, if you look at the portrait of a graduate, mm-hmm. the New York State Education Department is trying to the best of their ability, trying to promote districts to look at this in a creative way. Mm-hmm. So is it going to be something that is going to cost us a fortune? No, we can't do that. Is it going to be something that we could manage, develop internally with internal staff that wouldn't be an offset of what we're currently doing? I think that's the vision we have, but we are just at the preliminary planning stage of that.
So the goal says like implementation 2026-27. Is that no longer, because work-based learning is a program, like it's like you need credentials to actually run it. And I understand it doesn't have to be large, but even if it's not large, someone is in charge of all of that work, in which case our teachers are already working and covering classes and doing things like that. It would be a stipend, I understand, or work with potentially another.
So the one thing we're going to do is not implement something without fidelity, right? We're going to go through the process. We're going to make sure that it's vetted. We're going to make sure that the curriculum committee goes through it. If you think about it, you technically already have work-based learning going through the BOCES program. It's just that might be, we just got to connect them to the community because we have kids getting skill sets in BOCES right now. So listen to the words though. Work-based learning is the title. The transition coordinator that helps with that is important. But right now, if we have kids that are going to BOCES and they have skill sets that can go to Galloway's, it's a small step in a direction of potentially at no cost to the district, right? So if you think about it, they're going to BOCES, they're getting the skill set. We then can work through community connections to also then help them receive a job, right? With that, the coordinator piece is something that has to be discussed, right? That is a position in which can go off of a business, that can go off of a guidance counselor. So there's ways that it can be done, but all of that stuff really does, as you said, in curriculum committee has to be vetted, worked out, and then pushed forward through the committee, through the staff, through obviously CMTA as well, and then vet and see how much the cost would be. So yeah, you might see something on there that says implementation, but sometimes it's okay to slow down if we don't feel that we're ready. You know, and I think that's a message.
Okay, so implementation is that we still are looking to start in 2026, 27? Or,
So again, you got,
I understand preliminary stages, so are we looking to just have a plan by 26, 27, or actually implement it?
well, one, if we have it on paper, right, now we can start the discussion. Curriculum would then make the recommendation to the board for the conversation. But I'm going to go back to what we already do well. If we have 52 kids at BOCES, 52 kids at BOCES, 47, whatever it is, they might have a skill set that we might be able to help them start working in the community already, but it doesn't have to officially come out because they're getting a BOCES certification. What I'm saying is we can offshoot the conversation, but
Yeah,
then
I guess.
curriculum can then work towards.
Yeah, I just feel like, again, my concern is that,
Yeah.
like, we're a smaller district. We have IB, which didn't serve as many students as we thought.
Correct.
And now we're thinking to do something else. We have BOCES. BOCES is going well. Our students are graduating. Typically, work-based learning is for students who may not have the academic means behind it to graduate. A lot of times districts look
Yeah.
for work-based
The 4
learning as
plus
an
1.
alternative to go there. So I'm saying, like, we are a district where we're successful in our
Yeah.
graduation rate. We are doing well with BOCES. Why are we trying to kind of spread thin? In my eyes,
So I guess
work
that
our
would
staff
be,
again.
that would be the big picture for
Okay.
curriculum to really get to look at. You're talking about the 4+1. You can replace a credit through work-based learning if a kid is struggling to pass their regents. So when they look at the IB learner profile and they look at the portrait of graduate, and then you look at some kids that are struggling to get through that 5th regents, that's where guidance really comes into play, and they start to look at, you know, are we running thin? Maybe, right? That's really what the recommendation would come for. So I guess you can say the implementation would be based on the recommendation that comes forward. That committee might say we don't want it, right? And that would be the recommendation put forward. So that's why we have these committees. It is a charged goal to be able to look into. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so curriculum committee will at some point be discussing it.
That is correct.
And then my second question is just New York State. So we have our students take the New York State exams in elementary. I feel like the lag behind getting results back. My daughter is in 3rd grade. She took it last year. In our house, we kind of say, you should take New York State assessments. It's important as part of school. Yet it's almost November and we still haven't received the results back.
Dr. Boucher, aren't we sending them out this week?
So we just sent out today because BOCES did not send them out as they typically should have. So we actually just sent them out this morning.
Okay,
We started with 3rd through 5th, and then tomorrow we're doing 6th through 8th.
okay. So it's
I'm sorry
BOCES,
about that.
it's the BOCES lag?
Well, BOCES typically we pay for that service for them to send out. Last year they had a printing problem. It seems that they're having similar problems because I called them Monday after learning that people weren't getting theirs. I haven't received mine for my kids either, so I know it's not like a Center Riches thing
Right.
at this point. But we're getting them out ourselves. We're not gonna wait.
Awesome. Okay. Just feel like it's important for us to validate why we take these exams. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Any questions from the board? Everybody's good? Any comments? All right, we're on to informational items. So informational items are the policy committee meets, we already did that. Next board meeting, November 12th. Policy committee is at 5:30. Executive session is 6 p.m. That would be in the district boardroom. So some other upcoming district events. Trick or Treat Street at the high school, 6 to 8 p.m. is tomorrow, the 30th. Tuesday on the 4th is Election Day, no school for students. On November 5th, Facility Health and Safety Committee meeting, 6 p.m. Friday, November 7th, end of first marking period, high school and middle school, and Veterans Day celebration district-wide. Sorry, I caught me off guard. It is a great event. And- high school and middle? Oh, I'm sorry, looking at, which one?
Everyone is
Open to
invited.
all?
Open to all.
Saturday is the 9th Veterans Day Parade, Main Street, 2 p.m. Monday on November 10th is middle school early winter sign-up sports begin. Tuesday, 11/11, school is closed on Veterans Day. And then a couple items that came over from Shauna was, she had a great question to us with everything going on with the federal items, the federal pay and the pantries and the lack of SNAP benefits maybe going on. It has kind of come to the forefront. That affects our students, that affects their learning, that affects everything that goes on in front of them. So she really did an amazing job of compiling some information along with then our school support staff will do right alongside. So what we're gonna try to do over time is put a list of places, if someone is in need of food or items that, clothing, that they can just go to our website and take a look. But know that if there is somebody in need, encourage them to reach out to our support staff, a teacher, an administrator, somebody, so that we can then try to help them. We have a lot of great organizations. I mean, it's 2 pages on here. And I'm going to also give her a chance to speak about a little bit about something really cool that maybe we look to implement at some point, but I'm going to turn it over real quick.
All right. Yes, we're going to try to get some information linked to our website. So if you guys, I see a lot of our kindergarten teachers here tonight. So, if you know of anybody that's, hurt by this, that, if you can try and get the information to them or help them find it, it's just an easier way to try and support our Center Moriches communities and our families. To have it all compiled in one place, and they don't really have to look too hard for it. And also, a lot, when I was looking it up, a lot of the places are, their hours are very limited. So I tried to have a lot of options because I have young kids and I know what it's like running around, that it's like if you're relying on these kinds of places and they're only open for an hour and a half, it's good to have other options. And we were talking about maybe getting a program started in the school, or some of our public places where we have a easy dinner or meal to take home. We're in the very beginning stages of it, but just something easy that can go home in a backpack, and it's kind of like stuff that I did it with my 8-year-old today, that not, definitely to help families that need, but also it could just be a quick and easy thing, for anybody that's interested to kind of go home and, cook with their family and, kind of make it easy and friendly to everybody. So we're going to be working on that, especially coming into the holiday seasons, and everything's going to be a lot harder, and we don't know how long the government shutdown and everything is going to go on, but we want to make sure that we're supporting our families and our community. So I think that's it.
I do have a comment. We got the test taste, okay? She made it for the board for us to test the taste. It is actually really good, so.
Very good.
And I was going to say Clara is also going to get involved and talk to the students too. So we are a combined effort to help with this as well. So we have a lot of great students doing community service.
Is this on already? Okay. Yeah, so kind of going off of what Dr. DePerry said, there's a lot of students at the high school who already do so much community service work. A lot of them are already participating in fundraisers and book drives and food drives. So I think this is just something that we can add onto the list that so many kids in so many different areas are going to be willing to help with. So.
All right, on that note, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting? Not all at once, thank you. Sean has the motion, second John, all in favor? Thank you guys, enjoy your night.